First, I want to thank everybody for being here today. We have two important announcements. First, we're pleased to announce that the Governor, Phil Bryant, has once again proclaimed January 14th through January 20th, 2018 to be Municipal Government Week in the state of Mississippi. The MML wants to call attention to the very important services that cities, towns, and villages in Mississippi provide to citizens and visitors on a daily basis. At this time, I would like to read the proclamation issued by the Governor. Whereas municipal government are the levels of government closest to the people, and whereas municipal governments in Mississippi are administered for and by citizens and dependent upon public commitment to understand of their many responsibilities. Whereas municipal governments in Mississippi work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver vital services such as fire, police, and emergency response to ensure safe communities. And whereas municipal governments in Mississippi also provide services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents such as parks, utilities, streets, maintenance, sanitation, libraries, community centers, and recreational programs. Over 50% of citizens in Mississippi reside in city, town, and villages. Municipal governments play an essential role in the quality of life for these Mississippi citizens. Whereas Municipal Government Week offers an important opportunity to convey to all citizens of Mississippi that they can shape, influence government through their civic involvement. Thank you, Mr. Governor Phil Bryant, the state of Mississippi. Thank you. We also want to formally announce our legislative agenda for 2018 session. Here to explain our priorities is Legislative Chairman, Mayor Chuck Carriger of Tunica, Mississippi.
Thank you, Les. As you see the local elected officials standing behind me, and there's some outside that couldn't get on the staircase, came to Jackson to work on our legislative agenda. We've got a couple of topics, and I want to first emphasize that these topics do not require any tax increase to any citizen. As the proclamation said, 50% of the citizens live in towns, communities, villages, and cities, so we have to provide the infrastructure for them. One of the things that's on our agenda is to increase our sales tax diversion from 18.5% to 20.5%. It was lowered in the 90s when the sales tax increase went from 6 to 7%. We want to get that back to 20.5%. The other that we have is a local debt set-off. Now, that is the only issue that I know of that we bring to the legislature that will help put revenue back in the state legislature. We'll put money, it's state money that is collected through fines. A portion of that goes to the towns and municipalities, and the other portion goes to the state government. So we've got a plan here that will help the state revenue. The other we'd like to really see is we could get the small municipalities grant bond bill set up where it'd be about $5 million that small municipalities could go after and set that up on a loan program. You have a lot of towns that have a small tax base, and this will be a way that they can get some money to do infrastructure, whether it be road and bridges or water and sewer. A lot of mandates come down from the DEQ and EPA on the water and sewer side, and we have to meet those, and this is one of the ways that they can do that. A couple of other things that we have is to increase the diversion or to create a diversion on the use tax. Internet sales is one of the things that's going in the future. More and more people are doing that, and the sales tax or the use tax that is collected from that does not go back to the local government. But we have to maintain the roads and the bridges for the UPS and the FedEx trucks to deliver that on. So we, in the local brick and mortar stores, they're the ones that support your Little Leagues and your Girl Scouts and your Boy Scouts. So we need to even the playing field and collect that use tax, and we want to have that diversion returned back to us. So with that, that's our legislative agenda. That's what we're here to talk to our legislators about and to see if we can get some more money redirected back to the local government, where the local politician is a person that sees the constituents on a day-to-day basis. So we're the ones that have to listen to the complaints and listen to that, and we're the insulator to the state and the federal politicians. So with that, we're going to try to get some money back to our local towns. Sherry?
I'm Sherry Vize, the Executive Director of the Mississippi Municipal League, and I proudly stand with these municipal officials that are on the stairs behind me and many more who could not be here today. Cities and towns and villages are the true economic engines of our state. Next week, we will be promoting, as part of Municipal Government Week, all the great things that are going on in our cities, towns, and villages, and all the important services that they provide. You see the posters on each side of the podium that are portraying some of those services, whether it be public safety, waste management, garbage pickup, water, sewer, parks, quality of life issues that are so important to citizens. All of these cities have an awesome responsibility to provide those to their citizens. And as Chuck previously mentioned, our legislative agenda is asking for some revenue streams to be diverted back, an increase in the diversion of sales tax. 77% of all sales tax collected by the state comes from a city, town, or village. And we're just asking for more of that back so we can continue to improve our infrastructure and improve the environment for economic development. So next week we'll be tweeting and putting on Facebook some of the great things that are going on around our state as our cities work hard 24/7 to provide very important services. And they don't do it for the pay, they do it because they love their city, town, or village and they want to make it better. And so I just want to thank all of them for being here and ask all of them to give themselves a round of applause. Thank you for joining us today for this announcement, and we'll be available afterwards for any individual questions for the media. Thank y'all for being here.
We have several items on it. The main item that we have is to try to increase our sales tax diversion from 18.5% to 20.5%. That will then put more money back into the local towns and economies. The other is to get the use tax. We have from internet sales. There's no diversion for that. That money goes to the state revenue, and we really need to get that money back. Is just like part of our sales tax. We'd like to have 18.5% of that back to our local towns and governments for that, to help maintain the infrastructure, and also to make it an even playing field for our brick and mortar stores. You know, they're the ones that support all our local events.
Give us an idea on how those brick and mortar stores are dealing with internet sales tax competition.
It's hard for them. They're the ones that have the merchandise. They invest in the merchandise for people to come in and look and try on and shop, and they're having people take advantage of it. I heard a story where a guy tried on a coat, said that's what I needed, put it back on. The fellow says, you want it? He said, no, I'm going to order it offline. I can save $20. That hurts those guys, and they're the ones that you see at church every day. They're the ones that support your baseball team. So they're having to struggle to come up with new ways to create revenue for them as well.
The biggest part is finances for most any of the municipalities. We're asking that we get a diversion tax put back to us from an 18.5% to 20.5%. It was taken back in the 90s from us, and we're just asking to be whole again, and which would help our revenue source and help us with our infrastructure.
What would that mean for cities across Mississippi?
Oh, it would mean a tremendous amount to our general fund. That's what we're trying to do. We've got to increase. We want to get back so we don't have to raise taxes at the local level.
For a small town, the diversion tax would give us just a little bit more income to operate what we need to do as far as our town is concerned. And small towns, that's the biggest portion of how we get our revenue.
What would that mean for a town like yours?
Probably increase our revenues by a couple of $100 a month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
And what would the city be able to use that money for?
Well, number one, we'd be able to use it like we're in the process of a sewage upgrade. We'd be able to use that money to help us, if we couldn't get a full grant, to pay what the city needed to pay to supplement that grant.
Any additional penny that the cities and towns in this state can receive will be great for roads and bridges and anything that the cities need in their general coffers to provide more services to the citizens and residents that live in our cities and towns, and particularly in regards to infrastructure. You know, infrastructure is the backbone of the city, and I'm a firm believer that transportation is economic development. I know the city of Greenville is having major infrastructure woes and problems. I know on Tuesday, the Greenville City Council just had to do a 2.5% budget cut because we're on an EPA consent decree regarding sanitary sewer infrastructure, our aging pipes and our aging system. And because of that, we spent over $2.6 million of unfunded money in our general fund, liquid cash, on infrastructure, fixing pipes, fixing the grit chamber and things with our collection system. And so a transportation bill, a comprehensive bill, will be helpful to cities and towns to get that money to fix not only pipes and aging infrastructure, but also overland and bridges as well. It's an economic development issue.
It would mean a substantial impact, particularly for our infrastructure, our roads, our water, sewer, drainage, all those sorts of things. Those are needs that every city, large and small, has. And so it's been something that, has changed back in the 90s. And we're just looking for a phase in to get some of that back going directly where it's needed most.
The sales tax diversion would mean everything to a city like Crystal Springs. We as mayors, all of us, are sales tax hounds. We are going after it, so it will do nothing more than help the state as a whole. We're going after the sales tax. You increase our diversion, we're going to go after more. It benefits every single one, and then we can do better in our cities to attract these businesses, repair our roads, provide them the services that they need. The sales tax diversion is probably one of the most important pieces of legislation that our legislators can do for cities that they've had so far. So this is extremely important from cities as small as Crystal Springs, 5,000 people, to as large as Jackson, Biloxi, Hattiesburg. This affects us all.
Look, the cities of Mississippi struggle every day to make ends meet, and we have so many infrastructural problems ranging from roads to sewers, gas lines, a whole lot of different areas of infrastructure that have to be addressed. We don't have the money to address it. The tax diversion would simply give us a few extra dollars to try to address some of these many problems we have with our infrastructure, our roads and bridges and sewer and water and all of these kinds of things.
I think it's absolutely amazing. The city participates in a lot of different sales tax programs, but being able to get the state to increase our sales tax diversion, the amount that we get, up in the percentage will mean a lot. I think it helps us a lot with our road and bridge funds. It helps us a lot with just that foundation of how we improve our cities.
The biggest thing is people choose to live in our towns and cities because it's a place to raise a family. It's safe. They have the infrastructure there. They have the parks and recreation. A lot of towns have, and so it's a lot to live in a city and have next door neighbors and so forth.
The importance of local government is making sure that we're hands-on people, that we go and we see the people on the streets where they're at, what they're doing, what their needs are, that we can bring back to the state capitol.
You know, local government, and I'm a firm believer that cities and towns are laboratories for innovation, creativity, education, workforce, and just doing the things that we need to do for our children. And so the Government Week is a good opportunity to get into those schools, K through sixth grade, and just talk about the importance of municipal government, what your fire department do, what your police officers do, how the transportation system works, the sewer collection system works, those things that second graders do. In the city of Greenville, we started a second grade extravaganza. And what we do is do a government 101 with every school, public, private, and parochial school in the city of Greenville. They come to City Hall, then they go to the police department, then they go to the fire department, and they see every single function of their city government to know, look, this is what we do. We're here to serve you.
This is a time to appreciate the services that are provided by cities, things like police protection, fire protection, clean water, being able to flush your toilets and it goes somewhere. These are things that we work hard at on a regular basis. During this last freeze, we had our water department running around and fighting so hard and watching our water tanks so that we could make sure that our citizens wouldn't run out of water. Those are the kind of things that during this time you could just say thank you to all of your city government, from the local elected officials to the people that work in public works, your police department, your fire department, people like that. Just a time to say thank you.
I think what we all have to realize is the legislators are here to advocate for us, and I think being a part of something like MML helps us to come together and helps us to be one. So being a part of something so great and so big, and being able to pull together, we can get these bills passed, and they know what we want, they know what we need, and they're able to effectively help us.
Municipal government is the front line to any government. We're the ones that are there every day. You see your constituents at church, you see your constituents at the grocery store. We're the ones that you call when you have a problem. We're the front line. We're the insulators to the state and the federal politicians. So we're the ones that are there for you, and you do it because you want to help and serve your community.
Local government, in my view, is the backbone of government, period. Federal, state, the local government is where the rubber meets the road, many would say, simply because we understand the quality of life issues that we are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. We're reminded of them every day by the people that we meet each and every day at the supermarket, at the church. So I think that the municipal government is clearly the backbone of government in this United States of America.
If people have questions like more information about the Mississippi Municipal League, what should they do?
Well, I think they should contact the Municipal League. If they are a city or town and not part of our membership, they should go online and contact the staff there, and or contact me, and let's work together. Be one force.